Okay, so here's part two of this. So I have across the top here all my colors. So I got my gunmetal, German, black brown, dark rust, uh, and then we have the ammo dark rust. We have our regular rust, and we have our lighter rust colors. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to kind of make some of these broken because uh, we just want some variation in our roof here. Now I'm not um, terribly worried about it. Sorry, I guess if I put it back in the camera, it might help you all see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to take in the X-Acto knife, kind of breaking the edges off. Um, I'm not trying to like poke a hole through. I could, and that would actually probably look really cool if there was a hole there. Um, just kind of cleaning these up. But again, we're trying to create interest, right? I want to draw your eye to my roof so that you see the little weird things I did to it. Um, but also, I just want you to think, man, that looks like some guys who just logged all day, threw a roof on a shed so that their prize locomotive just didn't get rained on. That's kind of the look I'm going for. So we're kind of bend some, right? These are bent. And bending sometimes kind of creates like this cool texture. And as you can see, I bent this guy. Right. All right. Get my handy dandy peanut butter cup lid here. If you're ever in my shop and you have a peanut allergy, please don't touch my paints. I'm gonna put some gunmetal. And that's just Vallejo gunmetal gray. I'm gonna take my handy dandy sponge and a piece of paper, and we're just gonna go to town on this. Now we're trying to stay high, but we can also force it down low. Right now I'm kind of staying on the high sides. But we're trying to create variation. We're going to do a wash on this, so I'm not particularly worried if I don't get it too deep. But you can see I'm just kind of trying to do it. Now, I don't want every panel to be the same color. So you'll notice I'm not doing entire panels. And the reason for that is number one, things fade in the sun. But number two, we replace different pieces. Metal comes from different batches. All these various reasons that we would have variation in color. Some panels come from a certain manufacturer. Other panels, are from wherever. So you can kind of see, just kind of trying to give it a spot look. We're not going for 100% coverage with the gunmetal. So you can kind of see now I have some variation. Get this one here. And if you want, what you can do, what I've done in the past before is I take just a little bit of gunmetal and my filbert brush, and I'll get um, it, and I'll just kind of run it down, and I'll let it just kind of streak. Um, and we're going to do that more. You'll see me do that with the dirt later on here. So I'm going to pause it for a second. I'll finish this up. All right. So we are ready to start with our rust. So you can see I've just kind of lined everything up along the top. When I use a paint, my technique is to take that paint, and that paint goes over here to my right. It never comes back to the left. Some people call that OCD. I just call it a process. So we're going to come in with the dark. And we're just going to kind of try and blend. We want to get most of our color is going to be down low. We want to hit the bottoms because that's where a lot of your stuff's going to accumulate. But also, you can hit your middles. It's, again, dirt, pine needles, all these things, they fall on top of the roof. You get a weird freak storm and there's like some weird, something going on. So you can kind of see there I have some variation. I know it's hard because it's a metallic paint, top of a metallic panel, but so that's my dark brown. Whoops, careful over here. All right, so then we're gonna come in and I'm gonna hit it with the Vallejo dark rust. Same thing. Now I know that in your head you're probably thinking, well, what's the difference between the chocolate and the dark rust? It is a very, very, very subtle difference. It is not a lot, but I like to use both of those colors to get what I'm looking for. All right, so here we go. All right, we're gonna go to our red. So this is the ammo dark rust, which is like a red, which is weird because when you look at the dark rust from Vallejo, that's what Vallejo thinks dark rust looks like. That's what ammo thinks dark rust looks like. Dark rust looks like very different. Okay. Now we're just gonna kind of come over the top, and you can kind of see I'm trying to work very lightly because this red is aggressive. The ammo red is a very aggressive red. I like it because it's aggressive, but also hate it because it's aggressive. But we again are just working these bottom edges of our panels. And like I said, I'm gonna do a wash over this, so I'm not gonna die if I don't have this just right. So you can see some of the red starting to show up in there. We'll switch to our rust color. I've had people ask me before why I don't let things dry, because rust is one of those weird things in nature that has a million color variations. I use whole red sometimes to get uh, colors that are like a purple. Bend that guy down. We're just gonna give this a whole bunch of rust, like that's like a drip edge, that it's just running down that edge like that. Yeah, so rust has so many color variations and different little subtleties that having a blended color doesn't really hurt it. All right, gonna work these. But you'll notice I'm just using a sponge. I'm not going crazy here. And I know a lot of guys don't like to use the sponge. They like to do this down. It's just a preference. Okay, so here we go. We're starting to get that look. Some of you are looking at this thinking, oh my gosh, what is he doing? Don't worry, trust the process. And last color here. All right. Okay. So that's that.